All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a hard look at Dream Jackpot. Now, they're dangling this incredible promise, a library of over 3,000 games. Sounds amazing, right? A player's absolute dream. But here's the question. Is their welcome bonus a genuine perk or a cleverly disguised trap? I've been digging through the corporate structure, I've audited the fine print, and honestly, what I found, it's something you're gonna wanna see. So, first up, let's talk about that headline number, 3,000 plus games. I mean, that is a massive, truly elite collection. It puts them right up there with some of the biggest names in the business. And let's be honest, that's the hook, right? That's what gets people through the door. But as you're about to find out, a huge game library, well, it's only one piece of a much bigger puzzle. And that really brings us to the core of what we're investigating today. Is this whole setup a true player's paradise, or is it just some flashy bait hiding a really complicated and potentially expensive wagering trap? It's time to peel back the layers and see what's really going on underneath. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, our first clue is to ask a simple but absolutely critical question: who is actually in charge here? Because you see, Dream Jackpot isn't some standalone, independent operation. Nope, it's just one part of a much, much larger machine. And here we go. This is the blueprint right here. You've got Dream Jackpot, but that's just the brand name. It's the shiny shop window. The real engine, the company pulling all the levers behind the scenes, is AG Communications, and they're running everything on the gigantic Aspire Global platform. Now, that UKGC license number, that's good news. It means they're legitimate, they're regulated. But it also tells us something else. We're not dealing with a small personal site. We're dealing with a massive corporate system. You know, there's a name for this kind of setup in the industry. It's called a white label. The best way to think about it is like a franchise, like a fast food chain. Aspire Global builds the entire restaurant. They provide the games, the payment systems, the license, the whole shebang. Then a brand like Dream Jackpot just comes along, pays a fee, and slaps their own logo on the front door. It's a super efficient way to do business, for sure, and this is a big but. It comes with some serious trade-offs for you, the player. And this right here really lays out that trade-off perfectly. On one side, you've got what we'd call a boutique experience. Think of a site like Sky Vegas. It's got a unique user interface, promotions built just for their players, a real VIP feel. But on the other side, you have the template system from Aspire. Look, it works. It's totally functional, it's stable, and yeah, it's jam-packed with games. But the experience is standardized. It's functional, not flashy. You're basically a number in a huge automated system, not a valued customer getting that personal touch. So you might be asking, okay, how does this big, corporate, automated system actually affect me? Well, the biggest impact, where it really hits home, is with a welcome bonus. Okay, let's dive into this and deconstruct these terms, because we need to see what they really mean for your money. Now, you look at this, and on the surface, it seems totally fine. Wagering requirement 35x. I mean, 35x is a pretty standard number in this industry, right? Most of us would see that, think, yep, looks fair, and not think twice. But the trap isn't the number 35. Oh no. It's hidden in plain sight, sitting right there inside those little parentheses. Let's break this down with a really simple example. Let's say you decide to deposit 50 quid. Dream Jackpot matches it, so they give you a 50 quid bonus. Awesome. You check your account and you've got £100 to play with. Now comes the important part, calculating the wagering. So the natural thing to think is, okay, I just need to wager 35 times my bonus, right? So 50 times 35, that's £1,750. Easy. Or maybe you think it's 35 times the total 100 quid. But here's the kicker, both of those calculations are wrong, and this is where so many people get caught out. Now, the real key, the part that changes everything, is that little bit of math inside the brackets. Deposit plus bonus. You see, you're not wagering 35 times just the bonus. You are required to wager 35 times the total sum of your own deposited cash and the bonus money they gave you. And believe me, that one little detail completely flips the script. So here's the actual math. Here's the reality check. You take your £50 deposit, you add the £50 bonus, that gets you to £100. Then you multiply that entire amount by 35, which means the real amount you have to wager is £3,500. Let that sink in. If you deposit £50 and get a £50 bonus, you're not wagering £1,750, you're wagering £3,500. That's the 70x reality. It effectively doubles the wagering requirement. Okay, so let's just say you are one of the lucky ones and you actually managed to clear that massive wagering requirement and you want to cash out. Well, this is where that corporate automated system we talked about earlier rears its head again. Now, I want to be fair here. The good news is AG Communications is reliable. This is a huge company. They're not going to run off with your money. They do pay out. And the speed is pretty standard, usually within a day or two. But, and you can see it right there, that flexibility bar is at rock bottom. There is zero wiggle room. The system is automated, and it doesn't make exceptions for anyone. And that complete lack of flexibility is what leads to all these little catches buried in the fine print. You can have a win from a bonus, and it might be capped, meaning even if you hit a jackpot, you only get a fraction of it. The system could flag your betting pattern as unusual for any reason and just, poof, void your winnings. The bottom line here, the most crucial thing to understand, is that their automated system will enforce every single tiny detail of the terms and conditions, and it does it with absolutely no mercy. So, after auditing the brand, the platform, and digging through all those terms, what's the final verdict on Dream Jackpot? Let's put the dream right next to the reality and see how they stack up. So, the dream they sell you is over 3,000 games. The reality? It's a standard cookie-cutter template. The dream is a 35x wagering bonus. The reality? It's an effective 70x requirement. The dream is the chance for a massive win. The reality? You're facing potential winnings caps and some of the most strict, automatically enforced rules you'll find. Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about saying Dream Jackpot is good or bad. It's about something way more important. Understanding the system you're choosing to play in. The massive game library is absolutely real, but so are those incredibly rigid terms. So the final question really isn't for me, it's for you. Now that you know how to read the blueprint behind these sites, when you see an offer like this, will you see the dream? Or will you see the